Ms. Arnell.
Present.
Mr. Manu.
Here.
Chewing, that's fine. Ms. Polis.
I don't think it's that funny.
Ms. Lipstein.
Here.
Mr. Pearl.
Here.
Mr. Maldonado. Mr. Rogers. Ms. Galizia.
What?
Mr. Midway.
Here.
Excellent. We need our quorum. Okay. So now we'll move into the adoption of the agenda. Mr. Rogers?
I move the motion after
So, for reference, we are changing some things from the original agenda that I sent you. We're adding the election of chairs to standing committees, the election of chairs to special committees, election of members of the Special Committee on Finance. We are striking the report from the President. We are striking the confirmation of Cameron Cluff as the Senator of 2017 because he was unavailable for the meeting today for personal reasons, which is fine. We are tabling the confirmation of Isabella, Director of Graphic Design, hopefully next week. And those are all the changes. Okay. So. Yes.
Can we move the election of the chairs to after the new people are confirmed?
For a second.
Yeah, I second that.
Any objections?
Sure.
Okay, that's fine. That'll be reflected. So. Yeah, no problem. So I'll keep it the same on the agenda, but I'll make it up to that, and I know.
Thank you.
So, are there any other motions on the floor?
Oh, we have to accept it.
Yes.
Sorry, I remember something else.
No,
okay.
I was hoping that someone would.
Okay.
Yes.
Someone would what?
I motion to accept the agenda.
Sorry, I second that.
Any objections? Okay, good. Sorry, we weren't on the same page on that one. Okay, thank you. Now time for the adoption of the minutes for the 17th meeting.
I move to adopt.
Is there a second? Okay. Seeing any objections? Seeing none. All right, thank you. All right. So now we will move into a period of public comment. Are there any remember any senator? Please just tilt your laptops. So are there any members wishing to speak? Seeing none. All right. Thank you. You may lift your laptops. We will now move into reports from officers. And we will start with the Vice President, Sam.
I just shared you on my.
Okay, great. Great.
It's not really anything to show.
Great. Any amendments now? Okay.
I only really have the one slide.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I just wanted to give everyone a quick update on the event we had on Thursday. Susan Collins came. It was really great. We had almost 200 people showed up. We had been adding chairs to the back of the room, which was super exciting. I think we made a really great partnership with AU College Republicans. They were super excited and super grateful that our first event, or our first political speaker was with them. So we look forward to continuing to work with them. We had a really great dialogue. So that was really great. And Susan Collins, she was just really incredible. Really sweet woman. Everyone seemed to really like her. She was very moderate, so everyone would enjoy listening to her speak. And then she's really doing nice things. Like pictures are 2 biggest events. On Wednesday, super excited. Vendor, 7 o'clock. And then I'm sure everyone saw we announced our All-American Weekend speaker on Friday. Tony Goldwyn will be here for October 22nd. So if you haven't already, like the Facebook page, say you're coming, invite your friends, share the picture. That'll be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the Vice President? Chair the chair.
For Tony Goldman, what's the cost for non-AU?
Not like for a parent.
Yeah.
I think it was around $12 for a parent. Don't hold me to that exact number, but if you click the link on the Facebook page, it'll bring you right to it. I think it's around $12. And there's also a link for alumni, in case anyone knew any alumni that wanted to come. I can't remember how much that one is, but it is an option if alumni want to come to
Any other questions for the Vice President? Seeing none, thank you. Now we will move into a report from the Comptroller.
Hello,
I'm happy to be here. Yeah. Okay, so you have 4 minutes.
cool. I just wanted to let you know what I did this week. Oh god. So I met with my cabinet this week, just to kind of go over what we're doing, what we're planning on doing, which is really nice. I still have to meet with Sandy Young, she has to leave this week, so meeting her this week. But I talked to Andrew and Josh and came up with some ideas that we're going to move forward with, which I'm really excited. So for HR, I know I mentioned this last week, but I want to like push it again, so I'm going to start sending out emails and like talking to y'all, but I want to do like interviews with people that have been at SG for a while, just to kind of talk about like the culture of SG, like what's up, like how you're feeling, your experiences, and just like it's so casual, like just like a sit down conversation. Andrew's doing research into, there are a couple organizations that have done this in the past, with just their student organizations and like conducted like research as to like how the organization works and like what helps it function the best. And so he's looking into questions about like that and stuff. So we're coming up with like a set that we can use, but like it's gonna be a casual conversation, which I'm excited about. And also we're gonna start creating a calendar of like multicultural events on campus. That's something that we're like really excited about because we think that like it would be really great for like all of you to start to like just once in a while like if you get the chance to attend events like that, because there's a lot of great students on campus that you're representing, and like a lot of like opinions and like a lot of identities that like it would just be cool to be able to experience. So yeah, and like learn about. So we're doing that. Yeah, that's pretty much like what we are doing. Like that's probably the next month, 2 months. And then oh, and we're also doing ethical judicial standard stuff. So like once again, contact me. I only had one person contact me, and they were not a senator, so please do it if you want to. And then I talked to Josh. Josh, so there's a bill that we passed last year that talks about me updating the page every 2 weeks. So that is a thing that's happening. It has been happening, but we'll also have someone check on those things to make sure everything's super accurate. That's what I would like, and I'm sure you would also like. So I'm gonna go through everything, and Josh is gonna check it every 2 weeks as well. We're gonna set up a time. Not Josh Gutmaker, just to like like Josh Ledyard, my associate comptroller for budget. So we're doing that, and also we're gonna start compiling a list of student leaders because I like want to reach out to different clubs to talk about co-sponsorships, and I want to know what they're doing. I feel like too many times we like ask for people to like reach out to us, and like I want to reach out to them. So Josh is gonna help me compile a list within the next month with just student leaders, and we're gonna talk to them. And talk about what they're doing and like how we can help. So pretty much it. Any questions?
Can you explain more about the ethical and judicial standards?
Yeah, absolutely. We're just like looking into what other organizations have done, like ours, just to see if they're like different than ours, if ours are like up to par with other universities. Okay. Andrew's been doing like research on it all summer. And like also we don't want to like change ethical and judicial standards that like the Senate like uses and like adheres to or whatever without like the opinion of senators. So just like let me know what you're feeling. I know last semester we added that you have to use people's correct pronouns. So like just little things like that are like awesome and like make the organization more inclusive in my opinion. So like just working on little things like that, just little additions that'll make things like
okay, cool. I was sure that we had to like pass another one. I was like, it's so soon to just happen.
No, we wanna like there's gonna be one I believe it has to be passed. Doesn't it have to be passed? Yeah.
I thought it was time again, and I was like,
oh no. I think we're gonna wait until
the next
I don't know if it's stipulated in the document itself, so I can check on that.
Yeah, check on that.
Yes,
Thank you. And then I think it'd be best to wait until the new senators around. I'd like to have one old senator working on it.
Yeah.
And then like one newer one that like has like a nice fresh perspective, but someone that like is in touch with.
Are there any questions? All right, seeing none, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So now we'll move on to the Associate Secretary, Chris Schneider, who also sent me a brief report. Extremely brief. There are a lot of slides, though.
There's only 5 slides.
Okay. You have 4 minutes.
Okay. Hello, everybody. It was not a quiet week, but it was a quick week. So we're continuing Turbo Road communications. My deputy, Associate Secretary Blaine Wallace, who's the first year, is now in charge of our communications on our Facebook page, and he's also been reaching out to our partner clubs and organizations on campus to see what they're doing in terms of communicating about Turbo Vote, because it's kind of fell flat since our launch. So he's been doing that over the past 2 days, and we've already heard back from quite a few organizations about videos they intend to share, graphics they intend to share. So we're really excited about that. Continue to see a solid deal of interaction online whenever we do post something, but he's going to bring a consistency to what we post. And we're also going to be sharing some general civic engagement articles and websites that we find online in order to ramp up like interest in our online presence. So yesterday Friday we launched KP Presents Tony Goldman, our All-American Weekend speaker. Overall, it was successful. Obviously, there were some issues with the email that went out, as some of you may have noticed. I don't know, Bright won't be coming again. But we've already, Val and I have already taken steps with our content. It was 100% my fault. I edited the template last week. It wasn't anybody else's fault. But we've already taken steps to make sure that we divide up the work so one person isn't responsible for everything. And we've also implemented a 4 eyes on everything policy. So it's nothing's gonna go out without other people seeing it. Then we're also going to be getting a feel for student media embargoes for the year. Last year they kind of fell by the wayside. This year we started out strong, and now we're starting to look at our options for meeting with student media this week. Eagle, and we hope to have a fruitful discussion with them about that. Because we definitely want to make sure that we're both benefiting from embargo policy that's implemented. And RSVP to the event on Facebook if you haven't already. I think we have over 400 to 500 going, but going, make sure you say you're going.
424 interested, 626 going.
Very good. Swag, swag, swag. We need more AUSG stuff. As I learned at when I was getting stuff together for the development fair, we are out of AUSG stuff. I'm going to be looking for the cheapest stuff, so pens maybe, because I know that everybody loves our pens, and we have like 5 left. And then in terms of t-shirts, because now we are also out of t-shirts, and I know everybody in the organization loves getting PPG t-shirts. They cost a lot of money, and Joe Bar doesn't really have that much money. So what I'm going to be looking at is you have to tell me if you want a t-shirt, and I'll order that number of t-shirts plus maybe like 20 extra. But it's like I want to keep it. I don't want to be ordering 100 extra just because we just don't have the money for that. But I definitely want to do t-shirts because everybody loves them and wears them around campus, and I think it's really helpful for the organization to support it. And meet with us. So this weekend we started a weekly meeting of the communications team and KPU staff and their comms people. So I would like to kind of expand that if anybody wants. I would love to meet anybody who wants to talk about communications and how their message can be broadcast better to the student body. It's really important.
Your time's expired. Do you need more of it?
Yes.
Okay.
I motion to give Chris another 5 minutes.
Okay. Is there a second? Any objections? Okay.
I would like to extend that to everybody else in the organization. If you have something going on and you'd like to communicate about it, you sit down with me or send on to Secretary County, and we can get that worked out. Whether it's an email or just sharing on Facebook, I know that can go a long way for smaller clubs and organizations that we definitely have broadcasting power to benefit. Yep. And any questions? I will be in KJS or floating around MGC on Mondays and Thursdays from 1 to 5 when I don't have class or internship. Or you can email me at another time, or you can Facebook message me. Have like a chat. Any questions? Yes.
I had 2 questions.
Sure.
Media embargoes, is that just an advanced copy of announcements?
It's an advanced copy of a press release and any associated media, such as like a biographical picture that we might have. So that's what we mean by embargoes. And it's with the understanding that they won't publish the information until a time that we set or until we publish the information ourselves.
And
Question, is somebody checking the secretary at AUSG?
It's routing to the government.
Any other questions? Assistant Secretary. Seeing none, thank you. Now, appreciate that. All right, so now we will move on to Chief of Staff.
I don't have a report to show, but can you just pull up the calendar? So people can just click in the bottom right.
Yes. Okay. Oh, good idea. Okay. All right, you have 4 minutes.
Okay, hi everyone, I'm gonna try to move quickly. Some things the President's Cabinet did this week is we came up with a plan for the next nomination of a secretary, and I'm going to breeze through that right now with you, and I think this is going to be a lot better than the last one. Today, I inform you about it. On Monday, the applications go live for secretary. That is Monday the 12th. On Sunday the 18th at 11:59 p.m., applications close for secretary. So that's roughly a week, almost. From Monday the 19th to Wednesday the 21st, Devontae, Sam, and Shannon conduct interviews with 5 candidates, or with they will select the top 3 or however many apply. I think they 10 people apply, you know. From Thursday to Saturday, the 22nd to the 24th, student government will conduct community interviews where all members of student government are welcome to go and ask questions, similar to the student activities position that was filled that a few of us went to. So like a great place to ask any questions, senators, would be to go to those events. Saturday evening, Devontae and the executive board will select the nominee. And they will take into account all the feedback from open interviews, whatever stuff like that. On Sunday, the Senate votes on the secretary. Let's say they are confirmed. That's Sunday the 25th. From the 25th to the 30th, they are not actually the secretary. They're like whatever we want to call it, but they're being trained. That is a period where they're being trained, where they are not taking over. They are just being trained in that and getting acclimated to the new job, meeting everyone at the cabinet. And then Saturday, October 1st, they would begin their term. Something else we did this week is create a plan for trigger warning advocacy. Stuff will be released this afternoon and tonight about all of that stuff. If any senators want to get involved in the process of advocating for increased trigger warnings and also just getting our conversation with the faculty senate on the same page because we're talking about 2 different things. Please just let me know. We're getting a new door to the executive office, one that has swipe access as opposed to because they're 2. Turbo Vote was launched like more than a week ago, and 60 people signed up for it, which is much lower than the goals that we were trying to reach. So I'm getting involved in turning it more into a direct contact kind of campaign as opposed to a passive social media thing. Albert is up for nomination. He's a great guy. He's incredibly smart. He's going to walk through everything, but I really just wanted to let you know that you should work with a really great guy who's dedicated to this organization and has even been here for a month. Thank you, Chris Pearl, for reaching out to meet with me. You're the only senator that filled out that form. That's okay, because I'm going to send it every single week.
I was wondering. I was like, I'm the only one that.
Send it again.
I will. No, I'll send it. There's a 9/11 ceremony tonight, 8:30 in the amphitheater. It's a candlelight vigil. It'd be nice if everybody went. The involvement fair. Thank you to the senators who went. Chris, Haley, and everybody else. That's why I saw. We got a lot of people talking to student government that day, which was cool. And my last thing is general interest meetings are coming up. We don't have specific dates for them yet. This is not my cabinet. I just brought it up. We don't have specific dates. But unless you want one of us speaking about the Senate, you should come and make the case to join the Senate.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Or no?
You mentioned student interviews for the secretary. How are those going to be advertised to the student body?
Any other questions? Chair Jibber.
Almost inconsequential, but assuming that they're confirmed, when do you want to do the actual swearing in?
We'll talk about that later.
Haley, you have a question?
Yep. Is there anything we should be doing to help with the turtle vote?
Did you fill it out yet?
Yeah, I tabled.
Okay. So like,
No,
even if people are registered to vote, the thing about Turbo Vote is literally it's just like a remind me kind of system.
Yeah.
So like if ballot, they will do all of this stuff. So even if you're like, I'm already registered in New York and I know I'm gonna vote, but this is like an extra reminder. So that's literally what it is. Because they cannot register you to vote. They'll get you ready to do everything. So something that you can do is make sure that your roommates and all of your friends and everyone sitting in here with a computer signed on to Turbo already. Because like if our goal is 7,000 by November 8th and we got 60 in a week, the math just does not add up to get to 7,000. But we're gonna get there. We're pretty confident in that.
Any other questions? Seeing none, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Keep a timer myself. Shouldn't be long. Second. Thank you. The undergraduate senate received an email the other day from Senator Valentina Fernandez. She decided to step aside from her position in the Senate. She is going to remain student government in her role in the executive board. She cited a couple of reasons. She cited her time commitments, her schoolwork, internships, and as well as the overarching culture in SG. I'm not going to address that. That's personal. Secondly, and really lastly, I had a meeting with the club leaders of Bedsiders AU this week on Monday, on Labor Day. We were discussing times and dates in which we can start tabling for our contraceptive initiative. We have decided that it would be smart to have anyone who's interested in tabling be trained by the Wellness Center, because they, as a club, need to be trained by the Wellness Center to get to table and hand out safe sex kits. Our goal is next Sunday there will be an opportunity in the afternoon to have people come and be trained by the Wellness Center. And after that, the Friday after that will be hopefully the first day we start tabling. We're looking to do it at MGC. We're looking to do it out on the quad. In residence halls, they said they tabled a lot last semester in MGC near the ATM and the stairs, and they received a lot of great feedback. But the reason for the training is they don't want people to ask people who are tabling questions they don't know, and this is a very important touchy subject, and incorrect answers are very consequential. So that's why we're looking to get trained. So I'll be sending out an email tonight or tomorrow morning in regards to training times. I need to check up on that with the Wellness Center about the official time that people can get trained. And I hope as many of you as humanly possible can go to get trained. If you don't want to table, that's fine. If you even think you might want to table, please go, because it is imperative that you are trained. So that is it for me. 2 minutes. Proud of me. So are there any questions for my report? No? Good. All right. Excellent. Thank you. So we will move on. And reflecting the amendment made by Ms. Arnell, we will jump before the, oh no, excuse me, I'm sorry, we have a report from the committee. I apologize. So Ms. Arnell, you can come and report from your committee. They met today at 12:30 with their members, and she has a report.
Members meeting the Georgian.
All three of you.
Yes, all three. We were all in presence. Okay, so we have met. We've been trying to meet all week, but things been a little crazy. But this week we are going to be on top of it. So we've gotten some inquiries from members of the student body that would like us to investigate the selection process of the new secretary, as well as the process of everything that had happened this summer. Clearly, we want it to be in the past, but in order for that to happen, it needs to be investigated properly. So the committee members and I will launch an investigation starting today for the next week, investigating why the secretary left, why Faith left, how the new candidate was chosen, and how that will reflect HR policy going into the future. So throughout the week, the investigation will go as follows. We will all meet as a committee to discuss general questions and specific questions. We have a Google Doc already made that we are working on. The following people will be sent emails today asking to meet sometime this week. Devontae Torrente, the president, Sam Vervac, the vice president, Shannon McDermott, the comptroller, Chris, the assistant secretary, Faith, previous secretary, Josh, chief of staff, and I think those were all the members that we discussed. We will also have 2 periods throughout the week for any members of the student government or student body. There will be times for anybody to come speak to us and give us any information that they would like to add to the investigative report as well. The investigation will go throughout the week. Everybody will be questioned. If they choose to not show up to their interview or choose not to speak to us, that is fine. They can choose to speak to us through email, through a personal interview, which we would prefer, or through a phone call. And so we will then put the investigation report together and bring it to you guys next Sunday. And that will give the student body a chance to come speak to us, anybody, reporters, anybody with additional information, as well as us to completely address everybody that is involved. So it'll be investigating the past couple months. And we hope that with this, it'll help HR policy for the future. It will help increase the culture, make it a better culture for SG. And then finally, we do want to put it behind us, but it's important to the student body and to this body that we know exactly what happened and how everybody feels about it. So that's my report. If anybody would like to speak to me, you certainly can after the meeting, during the meeting, I don't care, through Facebook, whatever you want. So yeah.
Are there any questions?
Yeah, any questions?
Seeing none? Okay, thank you. All right. So now, based on the amendment Ms. Arnell made a little earlier, we are going to jump from section 8, and we're going to jump down to new business. We're going to start with the confirmations. We have 3, and then we will jump back and go to the election of chairs of standing special committees, and then we'll move into the election of members of the special committees. So we will begin with the confirmation of Ms. Emily Folk to the senator for the class of 2019. You, just as in CRP, you have 4 minutes to present, and then we'll move into questions. For the committee, she passed through unanimous consent. No, excuse me, there was 1 abstention. So you have 4 minutes. You may begin.
All right, my name is Emily Folk. I'm a sophomore in SIS. The reason I am interested in being a senator for the class of 2019 is I've always personally valued being really involved in my community, and I've already started that my freshman year. I'm part of the cheer team, the honor fraternity, Phi Sigma Pi, and then I also work on campus. And then that makes it seem like I'm busy, so I see how that can be like appear as like a hindrance to my commitment or something. But I see more of it as an opportunity for me to bring other perspectives, and I actually have like eyes and ears in like these other organizations, so I can help bring their points of view, their problems, their suggestions, and things like that.
Great. Thank you. Excellent. So are there any questions for the nominee?
Chair of the J Board, did you run for a Senate seat last year?
No.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Okay, great. Easy. So just like last time, you can step out, and when I get a result, I will come and get you and let you know. Thank you. Okay. Roshan, are there any points? Okay. So all those in favor, please say. Oh, is there a second?
I second.
Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Okay, great. Easy peasy. Okay. So, congratulations. For the record, I will swear 3 of them in, provided that they get the positions after all 3 of them are in. So next we will move into the confirmation of Maverick Ryan to be a senator for the university campus at large. Same as in CRP. You have 4 minutes, and we'll open it up for questions. And you will hang on. I'm timer now. Gotta go by the rules. And you may begin.
Good afternoon, everybody. First, I'd like to thank everybody for being here and for your consideration. I'm really humbled by all the support I've got from the people who've been trying to follow through with this process.
Today I'd like to briefly explain my experience with SG as it stands, that's affected my own personal worldview, and I'd like to open up. I'll begin by saying that this isn't my first attempt to enter student government. I've applied and come up short in the last year, applying for Deputy Chief of Staff twice, as well as Director of Sustainability. Each failure was particularly hard to hear on my part because I had just undergone a pretty major reconsideration of what I consider my marketable and tangible skills to be. And the best fit I really understood for myself was somewhere in the executive branch. But ironically enough, just as I was beginning to think that I had a solid understanding of what I had to bring to the table and who I was as a person, life stepped in, as it tends to do with all of us, and showed me that I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. But I realized that in that notion is the most valuable knowledge there is to be had. Once you accept the fact that you are objectively no more wise or intelligent than anyone, you begin to truly humble yourself and listen to everyone. And this is what I bring to you today. The ability to doggedly listen and consider what is being presented. The desire to sit down at the negotiating table and compromise until all can leave satisfied. And the will to ensure that all existences are validated and that no experiences are cheap. With that, I'd like to hear some questions.
Okay, great, thank you. So now we will open up questions. Are there any questions for the nominee? J-Board?
Yeah. They don't give me a vote on these things, but your name is really cool, and I want to know if you knew the history of it. Go for it. Good is the question.
You want?
Yeah.
Well, my ringtone has been the theme song from the original Maverick for a long time, like the cowboy show. And then obviously Top Gun, the car, playing card, cigarette. John McCain, of course.
Had to say that. Apologize. Thank you for the relevant question. Any other questions? Seeing none, okay. Same principle. Step outside. We'll get you when we have finished deliberating. Haley.
Motion to vote.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Great.
Oh.
Give it a second. Congratulations. So now we will move into the confirmation of Albert, how do you pronounce your last name? LaBardia, to be associate member of the J Board. Same deal, 4 minutes, and we'll open up for questions.
How's everyone this afternoon?
Happy to be here.
Okay, so my name is Albert Labardia. I'm a business administration student from Destin, California. Just a little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Destin, California. Pretty much lived in the same household for 18 years of my life. And then when I finally got to college, decided to go to the University of Alabama. And so I'm actually a transfer student. And now I'm here in my sophomore year. So in the 7th grade, rules have always been a big thing for me. I grew up with strict parents, for one. Went to a really strict middle school, middle school, strict dress code. So in my 7th grade, I decided that I'm going to read the student conduct code just for fun. I don't know why, but just the rules, the language that they had in it is just really cool. So did that for fun. And then got to about my junior year of high school, I decided that, I guess you can call it an epiphany, that service is a really big part of my life. And so I started getting involved with serving my community, with my mom's work. She worked in the hospital, Memorial Hospital. Did a lot of we did a lot of discharged patients, with flowers. It was always a great thing to see the smiles and making people think. And just me serving my community is what I feel to this day is the most important thing. And especially since this will be my home, away from home for the next 3-4 years of my life. That is what I feel, what I owe to this community. So my past experience with government, in the University of Alabama, I was a first-year counselor. That is the freshman arm of the legislative branch in their student government. So, Undergraduate Senate, first year council, so whenever we pass, or pass, if we pass a resolution, it passes, but, acts, bills, anything that requires money, we have to bring it forward to the undergraduate senate, in order for it to get passed. I mean, practically the same thing as if you're a senator, senate passes well. So we basically have the same amount of power as, the undergraduate senate. So my experience with legislation there is I actually authored a legislation to amend our student government code of laws, which is the equivalent of our bylaws here. So, I have experience, just reading laws. I like to read laws. It might be weird, but I mean, it's something I like to do. The language is cool. So, I mean, with that, I'm open to any questions y'all might have.
Okay, excellent. Thanks so much. Are there any questions for the nominee to be an associate member of the J board? So no.
Other time commitments.
I am a member of Alpha Kappa Psi Professional Business Fraternity, but I'm a transfer student, so my transfer process is a little bit weird. I'm not sure. They haven't gotten back to me yet, but it's in the process, so I have no idea what that is. But I do know their chapter is on Sundays, but I believe it's at night. Should know.
Why not just come in as
Question.
Why not come in as a senator rather than J board? It seems like you have a really big experience amount in policy already.
I do have an experience amount of policy, but I believe that I'm 19 years old, and I do believe in seeing what's out there, opening my doors to different options out there. I do believe that J board is a great way for me to serve my community in a different way than I did serve my community back in Alabama.
Haley?
Yeah, do you have plans to just remain like transparent in communication with the different organizations in student government while on their board?
I'm sorry, I
Just
don't.
to like,
It's a question of transparency.
yeah, just your plans to communicate, like how do you plan to communicate with like Senate, for example, while on J board?
Well, communication is key. That's why we're in last year with our student government. Also, when I also interviewed the senator, undergraduate senator with Dante, we talked a lot about transparency. And part of the legislation I passed back in Alabama had a little bit to do with transparency. They have a big corruption issue out there in their student government. So, what my legislation basically did was it amended bylaws because the first year council and senate were meeting on the same day, and first year council met on the same day. We passed something that really needed to get passed real fast, but we have to wait like a straight week for that important thing that really needed to get passed by senate because first year council, and that's an issue of efficiency and transparency. And so, I believe that, staying in contact with each other, Dante, staying in contact with John and, everyone else, with Josh, President Toriente, just keep in touch basis at least once or twice a week is important.
Is there any other questions? So no.
This is gonna sound funny because we used to have a member of this body who used to ask this question all the time, but do you know the order of the governing documents? What is the word?
Precedents?
Yes, precedents of the governing documents.
Precedent of the governing documents.
Yeah, of our governing documents.
Precedents, not the
So in order
president.
of
I believe not, but I can find that out for y'all.
Any other questions? Seeing none, okay, you can step outside, same as last time. We'll deliberate and I'll come and get you. We have a result. Okay, are there any points of debate? Pearl.
So I definitely think he's really qualified. Even if he didn't know the order, like that's fine. I think that he's gonna like get down on that like very quickly. Most of the people in my entire time in student government, every single time that question has been asked, no one has answered it correctly because everyone has their own different opinions about it. So it's a kind of annoying question, but it's okay. But I think that he's definitely qualified, and I think that he will soon quickly learn like what he's gonna be doing. So I'm pretty, but yeah.
Cornell, and then I'll come to you.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to see if he knew, because I asked him earlier in CRP if he had read the governing documents, and I know that he didn't, which is fine, so I just wanted to ask him that. But I think that he's very qualified, and he seems very dedicated to learning everything and quickly getting the message and mission of the J board. And I also really appreciate Josh speaking in CRP to why why the executive shows him his dedication to service within this community and him only being here for 2 weeks and wanting to take a bigger role. I think under the leadership of the J board right now that it's the best place for him and that he will, serve there. Wow. So
thank you.
I was just gonna agree with everything that you said. He seems talented enough, and he seems like he's a new face and comes with different experience from Alabama. I think that's something that our organization could use right now.
Is there any other points of debate? J board.
Yeah, I take no position on any matters before the Senate, but I do want to say the order of precedence is actually written in our Constitution. It's not something.
Yeah, but
Hang on.
Again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I know that's true.
I'd also like to point out that I put the order of precedence in the guidebook packet that I sent you all. So because it is sometimes a tough thing to remember. It's no problem. Just make sure you keep that handy. Are there any other points?
Is that actually solid? Because once upon a time, I think you fought Kevin about it because Kevin had a different opinion. That's why I was like,
Kevin was wrong.
Okay.
But there's a difference between being factually accurate. No crosstalk. Thank you. Ms. Lickstein.
Yeah, I motion to vote.
Is there a second?
I second.
Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Okay, great. Thank you.
That's a really good
Oh, wait.
Okay.
Shout out, Karen.
He's probably gonna like.
Congratulations. Okay. So now we shall commence with the swearing in. Let me just pull this up. So we're going to go back to the election. So I need to swear them in first. So. Chris, are you going to take pictures?
No, at the end.
What would it be? Oh. Oh, thank you. It wasn't the button. Oh, this is good. Thank you. Wow. This is our parliamentarian. It's very, very good.
All right.
Scott. All right, thank you. That's your job, and I'm glad you did that. Okay, so for anyone who has joined student government, please come up so we can swear you in. Then you will formally be the organization. So just right before here. So please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Albert Lombardi,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will diligently and faithfully
that I will diligently and faithfully
execute the duties and responsibilities
execute the duties and responsibilities
of the office of, and then say what office.
of the office of the Senator for the campus.
Excellent. That I will abide by the governing documents
And I will abide by the governing documents
of student government,
of student government,
and I'll work to the fullest of my abilities
and I will work to the fullest of my abilities
to promote the interests and welfare of the students of American University.
to promote the interests and welfare of the students of American University.
Congratulations. Welcome to the club. We are a club. So I have, for the two of you, taken the liberty of creating your nameplates. Well, we used to do that, but then we got technical. So, there we are. So welcome in. So now we will move back.
Okay, yeah, that was my
to number 8, we will go to the election of chairs of standing committees. All right, so we will begin on the with the position of campus life chair, which is open. Are there any nominations? Anybody? Yes. So,
As a point,
yes.
I don't have the authority to nominate someone, but I would encourage the nomination of Haley Winsky.
Yes,
I second that.
Okay, so
Well, I don't-
it's not,
yeah,
hang
wait.
on, guys.
I
Okay,
figured it out. Yes.
Thank you, John. Mr. Pearl,
I moved to nominate him.
is there a second?
I second.
Okay. Good. Okay. Oh, I will. See, anyone else?
I nominate Barbara.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, great, excellent. So, is there anyone else? Any other nominations? Okay, great. So the way it's going to go down is you can give a short.
Today accept.
Well, do you accept? Accept? Okay, good. Okay, because you accept. So the way it's going to go down is you will give a short speech up front. There'll be questions, and then we'll deliberate. So the way it normally works is that the other person who is running steps out of the room when the other person is speaking. So Haley was nominated first, so you will speak first. So Barbara, just step out of the room. Thank you. And I'll come and get you. How are you? Okay, so you have 4 minutes to report. Not report, excuse me. Present. You may begin.
Okay, hey guys, happy Sunday. So I'm Haley, and I took up the new campus life this past year in Senate, and so I learned about a lot about what we do. I'm sat through the meetings. I'm qualified to be committee chair. I feel like I have the past experience to do so. I've been on Senate for the past year. I'm good. I'll take any questions you guys have.
That's great. Okay. I like brevity. Are there any questions? Okie doke. Seeing none. So you can step outside. Could you just tell Barbara to come in?
Yeah.
Thank you.
How would the vote work?
We would do by ballot. So you would choose individually. Oh. So you will have 4 minutes to make presentations, and we will open up questions if there are any, and then we'll send you out outside. So you may begin.
So I've been in this organization since April. I really do want to take a bigger role because I care about the student body, and I had a really rough semester because of certain things that happened within an organization. But needless to say, all I want to do is be able to make campus better, and I want people to feel comfortable in their homes because they shouldn't feel like they're worthless like I felt, and they shouldn't even apply to another school because I literally had my deposit paid to go to UF, but I didn't because I was committed that I was here and I needed to change something. There was something I needed to learn, and like even though it sucked, I'm committed to make this better.
Okay, thank you. Great. So are there any questions for the nominee? Oh, you have one? No? Okay. Okay, excellent. So you'll step outside. So we'll deliberate, and I'll come get you both. Okay. You just like small pieces of paper. Okay, so are there any points of debate on the nominees? Really? Okay.
I haven't remembered Barbara at all until last week when I started the meeting, and from what she just told me, I learned more about her than I thought I would. She seemed as a student that obviously has gone through some traumatic experience, and because of that, she would be an amazing position for the chair. Whereas I know Haley very well. I know she's been here since last voting season, but she doesn't have the same depth for passion for this specific chair that Barbara does.
Thank you. Are there any other points? Seeing none. chair would look favorably upon a motion.
Motion to vote by.
Secret ballot? Second? Okay, thank you.
Do you want us to get our own paper or?
I already made them.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so, thank you, Scott, for, providing the note cards. It's really coming in handy over the last 10 minutes. So, I'll just leave the ballots right here. We can vote.
Did you get them?
Thanks.
And I actually have something we can use.
Thanks.
Yes. So when you're done making your choice, just throw them in there. Oh, wait, I forgot, we have 2 senators. I know. Okay. Great. So, oh, we forgot the recess. Well, we can when we have to count. So. Thank you. Lovely. Stressful. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right. So the clerk, the parliamentarian, and I need the copies. Chair will look favorably upon a 2-minute recess. Mr. Midway?
Motion for 2 minutes.
Is there a second? Any objections? Seeing none. Okay, 2-minute recess. Well, you're here. So, just make sure.
I can.
Oh, okay, sorry.
But I read it wrong.
No, I'm not. Yeah, that's why I got it. I'm gonna start with
We've reached the result. Yeah. Right, excuse me. The quorum for me, they didn't have the opportunity to vote, so they need to come in and vote as well. That's why we have more cards here. You two didn't vote, right? No, yeah, so you, I would assume, but, quickly write that down. Oh, no, it's fine. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yes. Okay. We've reached the result. Ms. Litzstein is the new chair of the committee on. Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so now we'll move on to the Committee for University and Academic Affairs. Mr. Rogers. Okay. Is there a second? Second. Okay. Okay. Are there any other nominations? Seeing none. Okay. Would you still like to come up and? Okay. Come on down. You'll have 4 minutes.
Hello, everyone. For those of you that are new, don't know me, I'm Chris. I'm currently on the committee. I'm the only standing member of the committee as well, meaning that Martin is never showing up for me, and Val has resigned. This is something that I think is a great focal point of the university and our campaign, our foundation, and I think as having already been experienced in the committee, I am the best one for the exec chair. Any questions?
Okay, great. Thank you. Are there any questions for the? Wonderful, preemptive. Are there any questions? Seeing none, okay, you can step outside.
Should we still do a normal vote?
Well, if you have points of debate,
Oh.
if not, you could find a method of voting, whatever method you want. So, are there any points or motions?
I motion to skip the formalities of my hand.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a second. Okay. So, is there any objections? Seeing none, so we will vote by hand. So, all those in favor of Mr. Midway, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Oh, wait. So, 9. And so, you go get it. Thanks. Congratulations. So, that's quick. Now we will move into the election of chairs for special committees. And that is the Special Committee on Finance. Ms. Lipstein.
I'm interested in this role.
Is there a second? Thank you. Are there any other nominations? Okay, seeing none. Mr. Pearl, would you like to give a
I'll just
talk?
I'll just say a quick thing and then I'll take questions.
Okay.
So basically, nothing's really going to be happening in the next 3 weeks. I'll be very honest. Nothing's really going to happen until elections start again. I think I have to say I'm not running for re-election at this point, so I probably have to run for this position again in 4 weeks. What else? So basically, all we're going to do now is, I guess, get the members, and I'll probably get everyone together once to talk about if they're going to stay in the Senate and if they're going to run finance again. And then we'll talk about budget reallocation for the fall, because I know a few people need money, and I know that if they need money, it's not like, oh, we have to give them money, like, they need it. So that's basically all we're going to talk about. And that'd be it. No question.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, okay, you can step outside. Ms. Lipstein, you have a point?
I'm not sure
By hand? Is there a second? Okay. All those in favor of Mr. Pearl, please raise your hand. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. All against? Abstentions? Okay. I'll go get him. There you go. Good job. All right. Wonderful. So now we will move into the election of members for the Special Committee on Finance. Now, I need to check on this because one member of the Special Committee on Finance just resigned and another member just became the chair. So I need to check.
Haley's the only member.
Yeah. Right now, you're the only member. So, correct me if I'm wrong. That means we need 5 more members.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
4.
I thought it was 7.
Should we have 4 members?
So it's you and then 6.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So 5. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So we will need 5 members.
I don't think that's, isn't it?
We can check with the parliamentarian.
Can we check? Yeah.
Yeah, can you
Okay.
check on that?
So
I
Scott,
don't
could you
remember
check on the Special Committee on Finance and find out how many members there are, excluding the chair?
Well, Martin just resigned, so
Really?
Oh.
Was it an email?
he did right now.
Wow.
Who's that?
Martin.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh. He's like, oh, well, that's a shame. Less people. Oh, that's a problem. Okay, so. Okay. You have a result?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 7.
7, including the chair, or?
Yeah, including the chair.
Okay, so that means 5 people need to be picked. Okay, great, thank you. So, are there any nominations? Ms. Lickstein?
I nominate myself.
Is there a second?
Second.
Do you accept?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Do you want me to
Just write this down. Okay. I've got handwriting. Ms. Lickstein,
I nominate Barbara.
is there a second?
Second.
You accept? Great. Oh. I should know that one, Barbara Bush. Is there, Ms. Lickstein?
Yeah, I nominate Senator
Maverick Ryan.
Ryan.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, you accept? Great. Mr. Pearl?
I would like to nominate Senator Sam Rogers.
Is there a second?
Second.
You accept?
I respectfully decline, though I'm honored.
All right then. Ms. Lickstein?
I nominate Senator Medway.
Is there a second?
I second.
It's okay, 3 weeks, like we're not doing anything and then
We'll meet the
election.
boss.
We'll be on
We're just we have till it until election.
I trust you.
Yeah, you're fine.
You're not getting wrangled into something. Well,
It's actually cool though after election.
Yeah.
It's actually really cool.
right now it's still. Are there any other nominations? Or anyone else in the room?
I nominate Senator Christina
Oh,
Pope.
I got one.
I'll do it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Oh, you'll give it
I nominate.
Hang on. 1 second. Christina, you
I
accept?
yes.
No one seconded it.
I
did.
Come
That's
on.
not.
I have a nomination as well.
All right, hang on.
George, you feel left out?
So,
No, I don't care. I don't care that much.
hang on. Do you have nomination?
Yeah, George.
Okay. Is there a second?
I second.
Do you accept the nomination?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
The entire Senate.
So,
Bullshit.
all right, everyone. Are there any other nominations?
You,
I'm
Dante?
gonna nominate Senator Arnell, so we just have a full.
I
house
second
here.
it.
Full family.
Is there, well, that also means people are not going to be people are going to be rejected for
true.
the
I second that.
Okay, you accept?
I
Okay.
Why not?
All right, so the max or past the max.
All right. So, any other
I have a question.
Yes.
Why is Maverick the only one with his last name on the board?
Because I already had trouble spelling Barbara's name. I didn't want to make the same mistake twice. Okay.
It's phonetic.
Thank you for your comment. So are there any other nominations? Seeing none. Okay, so each person who was nominated can stand up and give a brief speech on why they should be on this committee. For those who don't know, just to give you an FYI, the Special Committee on Finance is not a standing committee. It's very important to elect members, so they deal with budgetary matters. You sign an NDA. I served on it. It's pretty cool. So we'll go in order of how they were nominated. So Emily, if you'd like to come up here and give you have 4 minutes max. And just for your reference, we need to pick 5 people out of the 7 that we nominated. So you may begin.
I feel like I could be qualified for this committee because I've always been financially aware. I paid for myself to go here, so I've always been very oriented towards that, and I'm also involved in a lot of other things, like how those budgets and things work. I've also been a treasurer before, so it's similar.
All right. Thank you. Are there any questions? Okay, great. You can just go sit down. Next, we will move in to Barbara. You have 4 minutes if you would like to use that all. Okay. Decorum, everyone.
So, like I said, I care about this organization, and I was a treasurer for the French Honor Society in high school, and also and the student government at my high school. I really like it because I know how expensive these can be.
Are there any questions? Seeing none. Okay, thank you. Now we'll move into Mr. Ryan. You have 4 minutes. Like everything else around here.
I appreciate the nomination. I can't say I'm very well fiscally minded. Well, not minded, but like I said, I serve on the e-board Cooper team, and we obviously have to deal with a lot of budget issues, dues, that sort of thing. And it's a lot of times a collaborative effort. And so I'm flattered by the nomination and hope that I get to the first committee.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Seeing none. Now we'll move, Mr. Pearl.
No, it's not me.
Oh, Mr. Midway, I'm sorry, I forgot you're the chair.
Wow.
Oops. Okay, so you have 4 minutes. You want to use that time?
Yes, thank you. Having been president of Anderson last year, I dealt with the budget having no treasurer as a VP. And so I dealt with the entire budget on my own with the RDs and RAs. Regarding Senate, I've already seen how big a budget can get and how important it is to actually maintain people and keep an eye on every single line in that budget. Otherwise, money goes missing and we don't know where it goes. It's times like that where we regret not figuring it out at the moment, and so this is truly something we can cooperate on and make sure it gets done right.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions? Seeing none. Now we'll move in to Christina. Would you like to?
No, I'm okay.
You okay?
Yeah.
All right. She has rejected that. Thank you. Are there any questions though? Because you can't ask her questions. Mr. Pearl.
Why did you decide to say nothing?
I have a lot of homework due tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Any other questions? Seeing none, thank you. Now we'll move to George. Nothing? Okay, are there any questions for George?
Would you appropriately feel comfortable on this committee?
No.
Okay. Interesting question. Decorum, please. Back row. Now we'll move into Lex. Would you like to give a presentation?
Yeah, but I'm gonna do it from right here. I've been on finance committee before. I enjoyed it. I think that I'm obviously the chair of the Oversight and Accountability Committee, and I think that it is important to be transparent with our student body, and hold the organization accountable, especially with our students' money, because there is so much money in this organization, and it's actually kind of sad, how much money is in this organization, but it's used for great purposes, so that's great. So yeah, love to be on the committee.
Are there any other questions? Excuse me. Are there questions for the nominee? Seeing none. All right. So now we move into a period of debate. Are there any points or motions? Okay.
Just keep in mind you get 7 votes, or however many spaces there are, 5 votes. So write either 5 names, or if you really want to vote for 1 name, vote a name and then abstain 4 times, or any combination thereof.
Thank you. Any other points, Mr. Midway?
Motion to vote by ballot.
Okay. Is there a second? Okay, thank you. So that is in order. The ballots are right up there, so you can come down and vote. As John said, pick 5 names of the 7 that are on the board. Emily, Barbara, member, Chris Midway, Christina, George, and Lex. You don't have to vote for 5, but if you vote for only a selected number, also write abstain for the other bunch. Okay?
Tina, I got you one. It's not the right decision.
You can't vote in recess. Okay. Keep that in mind. Oh. Come around. When anyone has a result, let me know, because I got a little box. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Is that yours, Christina, too?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else? Thank you. Barbara, thank you. Lovely. Over here. Thank you.
Good jacket.
Thank you. You stole my closet. Yes.
I moved up to recess.
Is there a second? Anyone against? No? Okay, so quick recess. Scott, over here, please. Thank you.
I make a motion to recess to the minutes.
Alright, you already took care of that, right? Thank you, though.
Yeah.
So,
No, I don't like the way. Yeah, I like that.
I just don't want
My
to.
child.
I don't care about the typos, I just want to make sure.
Shut up. Dude, what is just George, why are you so rude? You're so rude. I think you're mad that you so there's this girl who in Boston fair after
Congratulations. Thanks, edition. Yeah.
Okay, so she runs this drying machine washes dries and folds everything, like everything, even events on
No,
the
but
house.
I'll
Washes, dries, and
like,
folds it all.
yeah, but
Fold them in.
like,
Yes, fold them in. So she wants to run a fashion show here at school and have windows all different organizations at school walk wearing the
okay.
stuff at school. But she doesn't know how to like grow this event because she wants to
So
have
I'm sorry.
conversations, have cheap places. She wants to no, it's a routine where everyone so connected. I told her okay, yeah, perfect. So this seems really cool. And she's super established. Living her dreams is really
I know my face. I'm really difficult. Like
yeah. She's like her name is so good. Yeah, and I was gonna name her Betty.
oh, I'm
But I was gonna make
Okay,
her
hang on. We have reached the result for 4 of them. Congratulations to Emily, Barbara, Chris Midway, and Lex. And now we have to do a runoff between Maverick and George.
You can have it, honestly.
I need to have a vote.
Okay.
Vote for him, huh?
All right. So would you like to withdraw?
Yeah, I'll withdraw.
Okay. So with Maverick gone, then with Maverick gone. With George gone, Maverick is in. So we have 5. So congratulations to Emily, Barbara, Maverick, Chris Midway, and Lex. Okay. So
their names. I know that's a random thing, but can you send me them? Like
yeah, I'll send you.
emails and
Okay,
stuff,
I'll take care of that at the end of the meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Very good. I never said that. George, don't be rude. You're being mean.
Okay, excellent. So we have moved past that. Now we will return to new business.
I want you to buy this.
We'll return to new business, and we will move into resolution 1516-018, a resolution to condemn Aramark's actions regarding e-banks. Ms. Lickstein.
Okay, so,
Hang on, let me pull it up.
Christina, but as I mentioned before,
Christina, thank you.
this was not the draft that was like meant to be shown to everyone, so like amend it as many times as possible so that it is like how you want to submit it. But basically, we've done this in the past where we just write a legislation and we send it to Aramark showing that the undergraduate senate condemns the actions that were done this time specifically to Anna eBay. So.
Okay, thank you. So are there any questions? Mr. Rogers.
Have you reached out to the Student Worker Alliance at all about their thoughts on this resolution?
Okay, so like I said, this wording in this resolution was not final, but they're aware that we're writing it. And I spoke to Devontae Torian to speak about it, as well as other members of the exec cabinet. And then when it's completed, we would just send it their way.
Are there any other questions for Ms. Lickstein? Okay, thank you. Seeing none, thank you. We will move into debate. So, are there any points of debate or amendments on the legislation in hand? Mr. Pearl.
So I would like to make amendments, but I want to know Haley's opinions first.
Okay.
What do you want to do and how do you want to amend it?
Okay, so basically I just really wasn't sure how to write this. And so I sent it, like, backstory. I sent it for help and then didn't see, my bad, the response that Dante sent me. Before it was Friday afternoon when we like send out the legislation packet for the week. So my bad, I was like babysitting. But I'm not sure how to word it properly, so like everyone can just give their feedback. But all I wanted to say is basically that the undergraduate senate condemns their actions and that we want her to be reinstated to just those 2 points.
Okay. Thank you.
Which I think it kind of does, but like it just looks really poor. It's very short.
Thank you. Mr. Pearl.
I have one grammatical thing. It should either be a resolution condemning Aramark's actions regarding any events or a resolution to condemn Aramark's actions regarding any events.
So would you like to make the?
Can we just get rid of the 2?
Okay, so.
So I motion to strike 2 from the title of the resolution.
Okay.
Yes.
There's a second. Second. Is there any objections? Seeing none, we'll move into a period of debate. Are there any motions? Mr. Midway?
We have a member of the public from the SWA. Can we have him comment? Can I give him speaking right?
Yes, you can. So we have to vote on that.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's a second?
Second.
Wait.
Hang on.
What is the second? I want to give
We have to
German.
vote to get him speaking rights.
Yeah.
What are we considering this?
Yeah. First, we need to approve the.
Oh, right. We need. Right. Okay. I'm sorry. Good point. Thank you. I apologize. So there was a second. We need to vote on the amendment.
I motion to vote on the unanimous consent.
Is there a second? Seeing no objections. Thank you.
Okay, perfect.
So it'll go away.
Now I second his speaking rights.
Yeah.
Okay. Hang on.
Okay.
Got to go by the rules.
Sorry.
I sent out the meeting packet. I sent out the review packet
My bad.
for a reason. It's not your fault. It's fine. So, Mr. Midway.
I make a motion to grant German speaking rights.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. We need that to the voting. So all those in favor, excuse me, it's automatic. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Seeing none. Okay. You have speaking rights. So, I'm sorry. You can just stand up if you want. But what is your name for our clerk so we can put you in the minutes?
German Figueroa.
Okay.
I'm one of the tech committees of the police staff in the SWA. And over the past few weeks, we have been doing strike against Aramark. So we decided to do like a sitting every day in their office to make sure that they bring back events. I'm not sure if you guys heard how everything went about, but just in case you guys want to know, she was going to law school down in Family Town, and then because her schedule was conflicting with her work schedule, she asked her manager if she could change her schedule, and they told her no. So when she went to class and came in 45 minutes late, she was fired. And we really appreciate the fact you guys are being vocal about this, and again, thank you for recognizing it and advocating for it to be reinstated.
Thank you. Any other points or motions? Ms. Post.
I just want to make the point that last year, the Senate did something very similar when it came to like Aramark changing times for hours or like times you had to work. So I think that it's important that we continue that tradition, I guess. Hopefully it won't be a tradition anymore, but I think it's important that we say something about it, just like we did last time.
Any points? Yes, Mr. Shapiro.
So, the author of the legislation mentioned that this was particularly short. One way that is common to make it longer is to provide some historical context. So right now, all it says is that it's unjust. I don't know what, like, if I was new and didn't know what was being talked about, I would want to know what the circumstances are that are unjust.
Okay.
Thank you. Are there any other points or motions?
can I motion to suspend the rules so that we can openly work on amending this without?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I motion to suspend the rules to allow open conversation while amending this legislation.
Sure, okay, is there a second?
Second.
Any objections? Mr. Shapiro?
It's just called an unmoderated caucus.
Okay, I motion for an unmoderated caucus.
Thank you. Is there a second? There was a second. Are there any objections? Seeing none.
Okay.
So we'll move, so we dispense with the rules, so we
Yeah,
can speak a little
so,
more freely.
we need to put it in the front, or in the top, I guess, and like explain how it's unjust, which makes a lot of sense with the recommendation. So I'm bad at really reading, so if someone wants to help me, that'd be awesome, but I can try. So, I think you all have it in your, from your email, so we could like pull it up and work on it together, so we go up quicker.
And if you just shout things out,
Okay,
so
can you, I'm moving up front because I can't see this far, I forgot. Not on.
Wear glasses.
Well, I have glasses.
Okay, so
can you erase the endings, like acknowledge that the actions against and keeping, and then put a comma, and we should say what the actions were?
okay, so it is acknowledged that the actions against are so you want me to get rid of this?
Yeah.
Okay. So and then you want to go into a little bit of detail.
Right.
Okay, so what sort of detail are we looking for?
Should we give the nature of
so,
just her story? Because it's her. Yeah.
So if we want to do acknowledge the actions against and keeping, if you still have speaking rights, if you want to help us kind of describe properly everything that happened, so I know that she was 40 minutes late coming from law school and she had already like told her supervisor she was going to class. But how you guys are wording them in your documents?
I'll talk about that.
Okay, that'd be perfect.
If y'all have like things you want to say, I can give you language. I just can't give you the things you want to say first.
Okay, so
if you have a proposal, I can talk about what the language.
The proposal would be to say that she was dismissed, like she came 40 minutes late to work from.
Yeah. So like I might start at the top, like whereas like Anna Ebanks was formerly employed by Aramark Corporation at American University.
And for like 10 years too.
Yeah.
Okay, so can we start?
Okay, so
whereas was formerly employed
Can we mention what she was? Because she was a public defender back in the day.
Sure, we can mention that after this section.
Okay.
Okay, so was formerly employed
by Aramark Corporation for the past 10 years.
At American University.
Correct. Was, do you want to say there was recently?
Typically, that would be another line.
Okay, so.
So I would say like something. What was the circumstance? So, in the interest of furthering her education, Miss Ebanks was delayed to work by 40 minutes, whereas this resulted in her termination.
And whereas, yeah, you could just write what you wrote. So what he said. So whereas, in the interest of
suing
furthering her education. And I guess this would be the place to say that she's a public defender previously.
I feel like that
would be before.
I feel like
yeah.
It would be before that.
Yeah, I think it would be before. Yeah.
So maybe say where she was from and what she did, where she was from, and then why she left. Okay, so.
Yeah. So whereas Ms. Ebanks previously served as a public defender in Honduras. attending classes at the university, at American, right?
It was the College of Law, so should we say the Washington College?
Yeah, I think that would be.
There was also a full scholarship by the school. Like,
Okay, at the Washington College of Law, fully financed by,
Or like on full scholar, or like
yeah,
on full scholarship.
on full scholarship by,
Uh,
just like
The
on full
generous
scholarship.
financial support.
Yeah, okay, and then the next one would just be that would be the line to explain that she can wait and I mean, she would, she let her supervisor know.
well, no, it was she asked if she could run. She did. I met her schedule so she could go to class.
so there was a scheduling conflict.
Right, and they didn't let her.
Okay.
Could you say scheduling conflict? Like,
Yeah.
How's that? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I would just do one more line saying that she should have waited and was dismissed. And then the next line will be like, is acknowledge the action against anyone being for unjust and put the unjust back. Yeah. Okay, so then whereas it's acknowledged that the action against anything were unjust. And then if everyone here is okay with the wording, I would just leave it therefore.
yeah.
Be it resolved that the undergraduate senate calls upon Aramark to reinstate candidating.
Looking good.
Anything else?
Yeah,
In the group?
while we're in the unmoderated caucus, is everyone okay with it?
Yes.
Any
Yeah.
complaints? All right by you?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Okay, so I motion to,
Oh, members?
Are we missing her name?
oh yeah, whereas,
Oh, yeah.
hold on, yeah. Okay, and then can we add at the end, so would that be the therefore clause, John?
Yes.
So in the therefore clause at the end, where it says call upon Aramark to reinstate any meeting, can we also write, we would like, I don't know what this, like you to send a letter to this regard.
Oh, me.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be directed if we call upon them to do something that's more?
Okay, so then we can do and.
That's not a directive if we do this. Because if we call upon the speaker to do something, it's a directive, not a resolution.
So you can do both in a resolution.
Yeah.
The distinction is less.
Okay, okay.
It exists, but it's not
Okay.
necessary.
So therefore it's further resolved that we call upon speaker of Undergraduate Senate to forward legislation. I don't know, the Aramark, I don't know if that's the right. Can we say to send a letter to Aramark and just
Sends our complaints.
to echo our complaints or feelings to Aramark.
Be it further resolved, the undergraduate senate calls upon the speaker of the undergraduate senate to,
Pass the
petition.
To pass.
To petition our grievances. How about, thank you, to petition our grievances.
To the staff of Aramark. Perfect.
moderated caucus. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you.
The motion's been seconded. Are there any objections? Seeing none, all right. So we will move back into regular.
I motion to vote, I think just for the record by roll call.
Okay.
On,
Sure. Is there a second? Second. All right, excellent. Seeing objections. Can't really have any objections. So we'll move into roll. So just for reference, I will clean this up
okay,
after the meeting.
thank you.
No problem. So we'll go by order. Ms. Arnell.
Yes.
Mr. Anu.
Yes.
Ms. Paulus.
Yes.
Ms. Lickstein.
Yes.
Ms. Pearl.
Yes.
Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Ms. Felicia.
Yes.
Mr. Midway.
Yes.
Ms. Folk. Mr. Maverick. Yeah. Excuse me. Maverick Ryan. Yes. Work on that. Okay. So by a vote of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0 to 0, this resolution passes. Okay. Excellent. And as I said, I will format this properly after the meeting. Looks like we're gonna get out of here relatively. We shouldn't have said that. I really should. Okay, so now we will move to other pieces of legislation. Bill 15-16-031, a bill to begin using Remind 101 to connect the student body and the undergraduate senate. This will be remanded to the committee on, well, Haley, would you like to do this today? Would you like to say?
I just want to speak on it really quick, if that's allowed. So could we do it?
So, okay, so,
Shouldn't be long.
I'll have to waive first reading then.
Off the fan.
I move that we waive first.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Any objections?
Wait, so what does this do?
Okay, so what do you need for this?
Like,
Yeah.
when we're waiving the first reading, does that
So-
mean it's not going to committee?
It's not gonna go to committee. So then, so that's why we vote.
I don't care.
Okay.
So-
Good objection.
The options we have are we either waive first reading and deliberate on the legislation right now, or we send it to committee, and the committee will deliberate, and then we will work on this again, next week.
Right.
I'm just gonna send it to committee first.
Okay, so you
I
object.
object, yeah.
Okay. Would you like to, keep, your, motion, thank you, sorry.
Yeah.
Would you like to keep it?
Not withdrawn.
You're not withdrawing, okay. So now we will have points in favor and against. Would you like to speak on why?
Yeah, sure. It's Haley's bill. She wanted a chance to speak on it. I think we should give her that chance. We don't have much left on the agenda as far as that.
Okay. Point against, Mr. Pearl?
I mean, I just think that sending it to committee is just always a good thing to do. I don't feel like there's really need to rush this bill. It's a really good idea, but I don't see a need to be like, it has to be done now. It has to be done this week. I understand that Haley wants to speak on it, and she can speak on it next week, in my opinion. But I just think sending it to committee as opposed to the
Okay.
That's it.
Is there any other points? Seeing none, chair would look favorably on a motion to vote.
I motion to vote.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, okay. All those in favor of waiving first reading, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Is that only me?
No, well, by the opinion of the chair, the motion fails, and we will send this to committee. And the chair will send this to the Committee on University and Academic Affairs. Now we have Bill 15-16-032 by Mr. Rogers, a bill to change the approval process for the Student Government Elections Policy Book. This will be sent to the Committee on Rules and Privileges. Now we have the Elections Policy Book submitted by JSEP. This will be sent to the...
I move that we waive first.
I second.
Is there a second? Are there any objections? Seeing none, we will vote. All those in favor of waiving first reading, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, the chair passes. So now we will work on the policy book. Just pull that up temporarily.
Thank you.
You want the policy or do you want the memo? Noah? Okay, so you have 4 minutes and it can be extended.
Okay, so I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. I'm gonna go through what I wrote in the memo because I think it lays it out pretty well. And if you have any questions about the minor changes that I didn't do in the memo, bring them up later. So we kind of had some foreseen changes and then some unforeseen changes at the meeting. The first thing, going in order in the policy book, is in Article 1, Section 2. We changed it so that campaign staff no longer have to be declared. We did this because we can't come up with a definition of campaign staff. Therefore, why should we expect you to submit their names when we don't even know what campaign staff is? If you would like, you could put back in and then define campaign staff earlier. But I mean, Chris was there. It's really hard to define them, and I don't, as elections commissioner, I don't really need to know these people. It's only when violations come up and we'll deal with that. Second thing, Article 3, Section 3, we took out Kevin's notorious 20% rule. We actually weren't as firm on this one as we were last year. So we wanted that Senate to decide because you do still have amending powers. So it's really up to you guys, 20%. It's just gonna deter more people from joining Senate the way that you have a lot of access right now. Third thing, campaigning by candidates or their staff permitted only after. Okay, so Kevin changed it so that campaigning was a forever period. So you could come to Eagle Summit and start campaigning for junior year presidential election. So we changed it and we thought that a good date to start the campaigning is at the end of the third information session, that everybody has a fair time. So at the end of that third information session, no matter which one you go to, till voting ends, it's a campaign period now. Number 4, Article 3, Section 4. This just lays out that candidates can change races but can't bring over those signatures. It wasn't really defined, so we thought find that. Article 7, Section 2. We took out. Oh, so referenda campaigns had an unlimited time to collect signatures. We didn't think that was very representative of the student body, whereas if a freshman starts a referendum campaign and then by her senior year they bring it up for election, that those signatures have changed and views have changed by then. So we wanted to have 2 election cycles in 1 year to collect campaign petition signatures. So they don't have to wait until the end of an information session or anything. They can start the end. We defined it as the announcement of an election cycle is the beginning of that campaigning period for them, and then the end of that second election cycle after that is the end. So we also noted that they can put it in if they have enough signatures. They can do it within 1 election cycle, obviously, but if more than 2. So those are the policy book changes. If you have any questions?
Okay, thank you. So are there any questions for the chair of J7? Mr. Pearl?
I just forgot something on that. So can you still hypothetically, like voluntarily, submit your campaign staff if you desire to, or is it completely gone entirely?
It's completely gone, but
Okay.
you can do it. If you see a good reason for me to have that information, let me know. But if not, I don't know.
Okay, cool. So I just want to make sure that it's not like just like if it's, I was like, oh, like I have these people going around talking about me. I don't want anyone else to be talking about me. Like I can send you those names.
So we talked about that.
Yeah,
and it's up to the candidate now to disavow any statement that they don't like, that they didn't say themselves.
Okay, cool. So I just want to make sure it's not like that.
Ms. Lister?
Yeah, so I like that you set a guideline between when you can start campaigning, but how do you define campaigning? So if someone announcing their intent to run is considered the beginning of campaigning, like if the kid walks around and says I'm going to be running for.
So what it previously was, and we didn't change the definition of campaigning. So if you make any statement saying your intention to run or vote for me, you're campaigning.
Any other questions? None at all? Okay, thank you. Let me step aside. And now we will move into a period of debate. All those wishing to speak. Mr. Carl.
So I was in the room just because I do office hours at the same time as this, and I basically heard all the things, and everything's good in my opinion. There was the only other changes that aren't in there are like grammatical ones, from what I understand.
A lot of them.
Yeah. So basically, I think this is really good because it gives us a lot of things that when we were doing KMLs last year, academic year, we skipped over a lot of things because there was so much to do that we were just like, but this kind of patches up those semi-giant holes that we left. So I vote on passing it. I encourage everyone to do also.
Any other points? Seeing none, the chair will declare upon a motion.
Motion approved by unanimous consent.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any objections? Seeing none, the election policy book is passed by unanimous consent. Okay. Congratulations. All right. Moving on. Nothing else. Good. Wow, I'm proud of us. So now we'll move into old business. We have no old business. We'll move into a period of public comment. Are there any members of the public wishing to speak? Well, you're going to speak over. So you can speak next. Any members of the public? Seeing none, we'll move into a period of good of the order. I'm going to write this down. So, start with Noah. Second, Haley. Chris. Anyone else wishing to speak? See, you want to do it? Okay. Then me. Great. Okay, so Noah, you may go first.
So Sam has a built-in right now that we kind of wrote together. This simply changes Kevin's switch to bylaws last semester that just gives he accepts the sole authority of the policy book. So I just want you to know that. I'm not trying to like pass anything, but we talked about changing it back after we passed it last semester. So
Haley?
Yeah, so, happy Sunday, guys. I'm working on or I've been working on for the past few months, a project for free STD testing on campus. I met with the health center multiple times. The proposed plan was not going well, so we're switching the plan from free STD testing on campus to a free clinic day once a month and trying that one out. But I could really use some help. I've been meeting or have set up. I met once and set up a meeting again with Grace thank you. And so she's helping me a little bit, but if any other senators want to get on board and help with that, that'd be awesome. So yeah, have a great week, guys. See you Sunday.
Thank you. Mr. Schneider.
Happy Sunday, everybody. Thank you all for, can you hear me? Happy Sunday. Thank you all for continued support of the Secretary's Cabinet in our Secretary's absence, extended absence. Like I said, if you have anything that you would like to get communicated, I'm always open and welcome. You're welcome to present that to me. Share stuff that we put out if it interests you. Just liking it is, it's helping us, but it's not helping us to the fullest extent possible. So, if you're interested in getting students registered to vote, don't just like the post, share the post, because we want to get as many people seeing that as possible. So yeah.
Thank you. Chair of the J Board.
Thank you for filling up my board for me, Undergraduate Senate. Now we can proceed. Like I said last week, we're going to start hiring some positions. We have 3 applications for clerk that we received from the beginning of the academic year, about a week and a half in. The Secretary's office is also going to post the application for the prosecutor. Encourage your friends to apply, internal, external, everybody apply. Oh, great. My ideal timeline is I'll let you know who the clerk is next weekend, and the prosecutor will hopefully be appointed prior to the Senate after that, but I'll officially let you know in 2 Senate meetings who our prosecutor is going to be. Again, that's the ideal, so hopefully we can stick to it. Don't hold me to it. We're going to keep applications for the prosecutor up for about a week, maybe ending on Friday. All depends on when it gets live.
Thank you. So I'll be brief. Well, this is probably the fastest Senate meeting I've ever been a part of, and I think that is indeed an accomplishment. We're working on speeding things up, and we're moving in an efficient fashion, and that's very important. Something I neglected to do last week was introduce you all to three new members of the Senate. We have Scott Brenner, who is now our parliamentarian. He wanted to speak last week, but last week was a little hectic. Scott's great, as you saw today. He is very efficient. He knows his job, and we welcome him. We have Ben here. He's our new clerk. If you saw the minutes from last week, they were very, very good, very, very thorough. You're worth respecting. And we also have Joni, who is our director of communications for the Senate. She works on live streaming. She works on Twitter. And we really appreciate all the hard work you do. All of you, we appreciate the hard work you do. This was mentioned during full Senate, but I feel like I need to mention it again. Or we need to mention it. Martin Maldonado, in the middle of the Senate meeting, resigned from his position as SPA Senator. I will put out on the website, we have a vacancy for the SPA Senate seat. I will also put out that we also have a vacancy in regards to Ms. Fernandez's former seat. I encourage everyone to go to the Candlelight Vigil if you are available tonight. It is a fantastic event. I went last year, and it really is important to reflect on what happened 15 years ago today, not just for people in New York, but people across this country. So with that, the chair of the second. It's 8:30. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, it's 8:30. 8:30 in the amphitheater. So with that, chair would look favorably upon a motion to adjourn. Really? You want to stay?
I did.
Is there a second? Any objections? Seeing none. Okay. Next week, I'll try to get back at 1 o'clock.
Please.
I kind of like this one.
I don't know. It's a little early.
Yeah, you're not here for
CRP, yeah. CRP's a little.
So think about it this way. Look what time we're doing out.
I don't know. I'm not a morning person.
I know what you're
like, okay, later.
No. I'm talking about like not going.
How do we turn this off?
Okay,
I'll get rid of it. You guys want to go to TDR and then live? How do we turn this off? Do you want to do that?
We'll have the two directors.